Hey there, I am Heidi Powell, and you have made it to Heidi's Lane. I am a mom of 4 beautiful kids, a health enthusiast, and an entrepreneur who, just like everybody else, is learning to navigate the joys, the grief, the love, the messes, and everything in between on this beautiful highway we call life. Now, nothing is off the table here in my lane, so I invite you to cozy up, grab a cup of coffee, join me right here on my couch for real, raw, vulnerable conversation that hopefully helps you learn and grow through this journey with me. I am so grateful you are here. Welcome to Heidi's Lane. Another week, another podcast here at Heidi's Lane. Now, I don't even want to call this a podcast. It's really a chat. Like, you and I are friends, and we are sitting here having a conversation. Now, Keira is joining us again this week for part 2 of a 2-part series. So if you remember, last week, Keira and I sat on the couch for the accidental podcast, the conversation that turned into a podcast where we talked about the beauty and the gift inside of starting over, even in the face of death and divorces and failed businesses and all of the things that have happened in my life. They haven't really happened to me. I like to look at it as they've happened for me. So if you missed that, go back and give it a listen. It's a beautiful episode with a lot of laughs and some tears. And today is part 2 of that. Now, the good news is, even if you didn't listen last week, part 2 is a whole different topic of conversation, and it's a lot of what's next in dating and even talking about dating myself. So enjoy for another really deep, really fun, really real episode of Heidi's Lane. So we had a technical difficulty.
Yeah, we did.
We just continue, you know, like when you're leaving a voice memo and you go 10 minutes talking to somebody and then you're like, it never freaking recorded. Or you're on the phone.
Oh my gosh, that's the worst.
We were literally on the phone and you're getting to like the meat of it and you keep going and you're like, wow, they're really not responding. They must not be into what I'm doing. And then you look down at your phone and it's like, call failed. And you're like, how long ago did it fail? I've been talking for 10 minutes. So
exactly
what just happened is call failed.
Call failed.
We were just going back to the bridge and we said, I mean, listen,
it was
that video camera got some juice on my personal life.
I know. I'm like, maybe we weren't supposed to have that go live. Or maybe you have to go to the YouTube video to watch the unhinged version.
Okay, let's get back into it and let's see what comes out and what doesn't, know?
Yeah, let's play.
So I wanted to go back to the bridge. And the reason I wanted to go back to that bridge is because what you had said, Keira, was so good. And it had me thinking about something. What she had said, so just as a reminder, she had said that bridge is a relationship, right? She was saying the bridge is a relationship. You were actually likening me and Dave to the 2 equal pillars holding the bridge up. And so what I envision in my mind, and this is we're talking about finding a partner who is your equal, your energetic match. And you said you and Dave were energetic matches who could support the bridge.
Yeah.
And I let you keep going. But immediately what came to my mind is the idea that number one, your pillars, the pillars that are holding up the bridge, they do have to be the same size because if they're not, the bridge will crumble. Number 2, even though Dave and I were an energetic match.
Yeah.
And when I say energetic match, we really were. We both were big. Like we had big personalities and our energy took up a lot of
energy.
Space and we had chemistry like in every way you can imagine, whether it was on camera or in a car in the quiet with each other, with our kids, like the chemistry.
Yeah.
Was real.
Yeah.
And that's one of the things I miss the most. And I think what's important to say about that is even though, I shouldn't say even though, sometimes when you have 2 people who take up a lot of space, you clash.
Yep.
And we did not clash. We danced. We danced. And like really our souls and our energy danced. And now I'm tangenting in a way that I didn't before. But what I know a lot of times what you see on Instagram is
not reality. And that's true. Like what was seen on Instagram was not reality, because my reality was actually better in so many ways with him. And it was harder in so many ways. So let's get that out there.
Yeah.
It was a lot harder too, but the chemistry that was witnessed was super real. And it's the thing that I'm like, man, am I ever going to feel that again? And I need to say, yes, I am.
You will, because you had that code is now it's literally, it's encoded in your body. And so now nothing else. This is the beauty of a rewire.
Do you know most people never feel that though? Like, and I realized that with him, I never would have felt it if I had not been through the experiences that I had. Right. But you're right. So I am wired for that now.
So now, like, okay, so this is something I'm like all passionate about, which is the rewiring.
Okay.
The rewiring of the patterns inside of our bodies, so that when you experience this, like you experience this with Dave, nothing less will ever be allowed in your body, like energetically allowed into your space.
And maybe that's why in this other situation that I've been in, that we'll talk about in just a minute, I'm not there.
No, because your
it's
body,
not there.
It's almost like
Dave accepted all of, like, he was like,
he loved it all. He loved the fire.
He loved the fire. And when I was my ugliest he was just like, you are beautiful inside and out. Like, it's not about what's happening here. It's he just made me feel enough.
He drank you up.
He drank me up.
Best. I love that.
Yeah. So what
this
I was
is
saying,
the new pattern.
So yes. And so energetically, the bridge, let's go. We were on the bridge. And we, we jumped back, Heidi. We were like, we were just sightseeing on the bridge. We got out of the car on our road trip because we saw a waterfall. And then we had some get back in the car.
Cookies.
Get back in the car. Have you ever done the road to Hana? It is the most painful drive.
The worst.
Maybe it was in my first marriage. So maybe that was it.
Oh, physically.
Yeah.
That wasn't as simple as Got it.
No. But the road to Hana is hella long. Yeah. It's an all day thing. There were parts of it that were cool, but I was not
It's not worth it. It's just not worth the drive.
But
the bridge.
I bet if I had now that I know who I am, if I was with somebody who felt like home, now that I know what home feels like, I think I need to do the road to Hana again.
Yeah. Same.
On my own.
I just heard that. Yeah. You need to do it on your own.
Whole effing day in the car on my own. I was more meaning with a man. And then I was like, no, maybe I need to do that.
This is beautiful. I love where this is twisting, because this was not in the first edition. But I really love that you bring back the place of home.
Yeah. And when you think about it, the part, okay, so let me get back to the bridge.
Yeah.
Let's get that analogy behind us. So what I saw initially when you had said the bridge and the two pillars and me and Dave being the same, what actually came to my mind, immediately, what I saw was this beautiful, bright, energetic two pillars. And my eyes went to bricks that were loose and not in integrity in both of the pillars, right?
Yeah.
And so what I felt is the need to say, okay, just because you are an energetic match with somebody does not mean that that is meant to be the person who qualifies as your partner.
Yeah.
I think and that's been a really hard thing for me as someone who I think my innate attachment style was anxious, right? And through my experiences, I've grown more secure, and certain people trigger anxious attachment in me. Some people trigger avoidant.
Yeah.
Like when Dave would be a little more anxious attached, it did trigger avoidance in me and more independent, like a need for independence. And then there are people who are avoidant that do trigger anxious in me.
Yeah.
And I don't like that. Right. So I now have that awareness, like, I choose to be secure. But I have the awareness to know that if somebody triggers anxious or avoidant, that is not a partner that I need in my life. It is not a partner that is meant for me, at least right now. Right. But it is super important that the pillars, the energetic and chemical connection that you might have with somebody. Yeah. I read it in that book, Becoming the One. She says, just because you're chemically or because you're attracted, you're sexually attracted or energetically a match with somebody does not mean that they qualify to be your partner.
I love those words.
Qualify. Guys, I am learning we all deserve, we owe it to ourselves to qualify the people that we allow in our lives, not just our partners, but we owe it to ourselves. And for me, I owe it to my kids to qualify who I allow in. And so when I think of the bridge that Dave and I had, luckily we had the awareness to know that, okay, there are some those bricks on each of our pillars must have integrity. And I'm not just talking about Dave's or any other man's bricks on their pillar. Like, is there integrity or is there a lack thereof? Okay, now that I'm seeing his things, I also need to take a look at mine. Yeah. Right. So if that's not a good match, great. Pillar needs to go away. You need to be on your own. And it's time to do some triage on your own. Right. It's time to, I don't remember. Did we talk about the brace? The brace, I think, was after.
It was. That's such a great analogy.
And what we were saying in that is sometimes inside of relationships, and I speak for myself, when we are in a codependent relationship, we tend to allow the other or to allow ourselves to atrophy. I had mentioned that the times that I was the strongest in my relationship with Dave, like during that time period, was actually when I had the awareness to say, this does not qualify. Here are my standards. This is not a good fit for me in my life right now. I choose to work on me. Feel free to work on yourself. Right. So when he had gone to treatment in January 2022, that was a point for me where I was like, I felt powerful in saying, wow, this isn't for me right now. I've never been able to say that because as an anxious attached person or someone who's always swung from vine to vine. Yeah. My ex-husband, actually, Chris had said at one point, he said, women are like monkeys. They don't let go of one vine until they have a firm grasp on the next. And for me, I'm like, oh my gosh, think of the number of people that I'm around and that who I've been, where a relationship, there's so much comfort inside of that relationship. Right. Yeah. That we do have a hard time letting go until we feel safe and supported by another, but we cannot grow. We can't evolve. We can't become who we're meant to be. We can't tap into our highest self. That's what it is. When we are always in partnership, if that partnership is acting as a brace. Yeah. Right? Yeah. And when I say a brace, think about physical therapy. Like for me, when I tore my ACL and in training, any kind of training, when you wear a back brace, you wear a ankle brace, you wear a knee brace, you're actually supporting a muscle that you're supporting a joint, right? But you're by almost becoming a muscle. That brace is acting as a muscle for a period of time. But the physical therapist will say, hey, I know your doctor said you need to wear this brace, but I'm telling you around your house, I need you to become strong without it. I need you to take the brace off. I need you to walk around your house so you can begin to train those muscles. Because what happens is if we wear the brace forever, those muscles do atrophy. We don't give our muscles a chance to develop in the way that we need them to. And that's sometimes what can happen in relationships. Yeah. Is we forget that it is on us to develop and to grow our own independent muscles, our own individuality, right? And we sink into partnership because it feels good and we become, a crutch for the other.
Do you know what this makes me think of? My favorite, this has been very loud for me since my marriage ended, was that this memory of watching A Runaway Bride. Did you watch that?
Oh, yeah.
Do you remember at the end?
Is it the eggs?
Where she has the eggs. And she's got the fried eggs and the scrambled eggs and all the different eggs.
Yeah.
And throughout the whole movie, there was this theme that whatever man she was with, she loved the same type of eggs that he loved.
Yeah.
And finally at the end, she sits down with all the eggs and she's eating all of them. And I don't remember the end result.
So someone had said, how do you like your eggs? And all the guys were like, over easy, scrambled, whatever. Because it was how she liked her eggs, how her men liked her eggs.
Whenever she was with a man, she only ate the eggs that he liked.
Yeah.
And at the very end, I think she said she doesn't like eggs.
She determined she doesn't even freaking like eggs.
And that right there, it's like, that's the muscle.
I don't even like eggs.
The muscle is, you are the vine. There is no more vines to be grabbing to. The vine is here.
Yeah.
And that's the muscle that you're building and I'm building. And we all get to build.
Yes.
Like, can I build the muscle that is so deeply, innately mine?
You know, and I think this was said in the thing that didn't make it. And it's worth bringing up again because I have that pattern. Like I am familiar with the pattern of what it feels like to, like I'm aware when I'm atrophying now because of what I felt in my relationship with Dave.
Yep.
That now I am wired in a way to, okay, when I start to feel that energetic mismatch again, or I start to feel like something is stopping me energetically, something is stopping me, I actually have the strength to say, like this isn't good for me. Yeah. You know?
I love it. Like this is the repatterning is knowing, because to think that we'll never ever come in contact with someone who's not the right vibration or like, that's ridiculous.
And
that's
I
not
have
possible.
such a hard time with that. You know this, Keira. Like I know people aren't a good vibration for me right now. And I just love people so much. And I see them for their potential.
I know.
Instead of for who they are right now. Like I see them for their highest self.
Yep. I do the same thing. And that's what makes us coaches, right? Our coach ability is that we can go in and we literally can see people's magic.
I know.
But okay, I got to tell you something that's been coming in so loud. And so I got to bring it on back. Okay. Somewhere in this glorious episode, you mentioned the word free fall.
Yes.
And I want to bring this here. So I didn't tell you this.
Oh, I did, but I think it didn't make the camera. It was the vine divine, did it?
No, I think free fall was a lot earlier. It was like a long time ago. I don't know, 7 hours ago. So I didn't tell you this.
Yeah.
When we went to Utah.
Yeah.
And when I drove my kids up to the skate park and I drove my daughter to a friend's house to babysat, and then you're like, we're not recording. I had a bit of a breakdown. Okay. I was like so tired. I was so tired. I just come back from running an event, speaking in New York.
Yes.
Then I got home for 2 days and I drove my kids up
till 2 a.m.
and then we didn't record. And I went back to my hotel room and I cried. And then I reached out to this psychic healer that someone had told me I needed to work with. So
amazing.
I had this glorious 2-hour session in my hotel room that day, which actually shared the same room as you. Wall. I'm pretty sure Heidi heard me crying for the last 2 hours. Hear. So in her session with me, she said to me, you need to be in free fall. And I'm going to tell you why this is coming here. One, that session was massively healing. So I'm really grateful we didn't record that day because it was like a catalyst. That healing was
for healing that you needed.
I needed it.
Yeah.
And free fall is the opposite of anxious attached.
Ooh. That's secure attached is what that is.
Free fall is like, I will be okay with whatever the results are that happen.
So I feel like I need to anxious attached. We talked about it in the piece that did not record.
Oh, it didn't.
Yeah, that didn't record. Okay. There's a book called Attached that Keira is reading right now. Because remember we had brought up the guy that I had been talking to and that did not make it. And it was all in.
Maybe it wasn't supposed to make it.
Maybe it wasn't.
Yeah.
Unless it comes back up again. Yeah. But I'm not going to force it. And sorry guys for the teaser. I'm not in a relationship. I feel like I should though say that one of the things I acknowledged, let me make sure I'm turning this up. One of the things I acknowledged is I have deep friendships with people And I can usually tell when something's going in a direction. And there was a friendship that was healing. I don't want to say healing because it wasn't.
No.
It was a friendship that was numbing my pain.
But rightly so.
And I was
You
numbing
needed
his
it
pain.
right then. You did.
Here's the thing. This man literally has altered the direction of my family's life forever. And I didn't say that before. He really has.
Yeah.
And I don't know if I've told you that, Keira. And I actually do love this man.
I know.
And when I say that, I don't mean like, oh, I'm going to marry him. I mean, like, I have love for a lot of people, and he's a wonderful man. He's probably one of the most qualified men I've ever been around.
Yeah.
And also the timing is not right. And it triggered anxious attached in me, which I don't like.
Mm-mm.
And I believe I triggered avoidant in him. And because it was like, we knew there was chemistry and we both knew that we didn't want. And so long story short, we're not in contact with each other right now.
Yeah.
We're not in contact with each other right now because I know this pattern.
Yeah.
And I know we wouldn't stay friends. I know it would progress into more. And I am hyper committed to being my best. And I know he has things that he wants to work on as well right now. And so this friendship, it's been awesome. It's been awesome to have him as a friend. And it's also been awesome to see myself thrive and grow on my own without the energy of a potential relationship attached. Right. And it was actually the day after I said, hey, I need 30 days away. I think you need 30 days away. I think we need 30 days for clarity. It was the day after that is when I decided the 90-day man fast.
Yeah.
Anyway, the book Attached that we're referring to, the book Attached, it talks about the 3 different attachment styles. And the 3 different attachment styles that they talk about in the book is anxious attached, which I think you can figure out what that is. There's secure attached, which is right there in the middle. And that's kind of the goal. And then there's avoidant attached. And everyone is innately one. Sometimes we're like a little bit of all 3. I think people trigger certain things. I've learned over time to be secure, but my upbringing did not create secure. Yeah. Right. Yeah. But I'm aware when I'm going into avoidant. I'm aware when I'm going into anxious, and then that's a sign for me that something needs to shift. So what Keira was just talking about is she said that the free fall, right? The letting go, the surrendering, the not controlling is the opposite of anxious. And anxious so often, like one of the things that they say in the book is those of us who do have a tendency to think, someone that might be anxious attached might be someone that when they don't get a response immediately is like, what did I do? What's wrong? What's wrong with me? Right? So we make it about us. We make it about
did
me.
I do something wrong?
Did I do something wrong?
That's a big one.
And I noticed that happening with me today, Keira.
Yeah.
So now I'm talking to you as a friend.
Yeah.
We
weren't talking as friends before?
I mean, like, I'm acting like the microphone's not on is what I mean.
Oh, hi, friend.
Hi. But this person that I'm doing 30 days of no contact with reached out yesterday, and it was a really hard text to get.
I know.
It was a really hard text to get. And because I care so much about this person, and I'm not going to go into details, it just because I care about his well-being. Yeah, for sure. And what it did though, and I've been processing for the past 24 hours, is I've had to, and I'm aware of it. So I'm saying this because I'm aware, and I keep going, okay, I'm aware. Oh shoot, I'm in it. Hold on, pull out. I'm aware. It has me being like, did I break him? Right. And I actually had said, I don't think I said this to you when we talked last night about it, but my thing is, do I break every man I touch? Right. I think I broke, because I look at the pattern and I see the pain. Right. And I see, it's like, I have my own things to back up what I feel. And But so that's an example of anxious attachment. And I'm hyper aware of it right now. So when I do that, I go, no. I actually have a phrase that my coach gave to me yesterday. It's, I am not responsible for anyone's fragility.
Oh.
Right. So whether, because we all have fragile parts of us and no man is responsible for my fragility.
Yeah.
Just like I am not responsible for somebody else's fragility.
Yeah. That's powerful.
It's very easy for me to say, what did I do? What did I do? What did I do? That's an anxious attached quality.
Interesting.
And, so I constantly go, oh, wait, hold on. No, I'm up here now.
Yeah.
And not above or below, but I'm above the situation.
You're above the trees.
Let me be an observer.
Can see. Yeah, you can see. If you're in the forest, you can only see like a 10-foot radius. If you're in an airplane, you can actually see, oh, there's a rock over there. There's a river over there. There's a bear over there.
Yeah.
So like, it's just you getting a higher viewpoint.
And it doesn't mean that like my love goes away. So I am rooted in love, right? Anchored in love, rising above the situation because I still can hold space to love this man and anybody else, like as a friend, right?
Yeah.
And we are friends. We've never been more than friends.
Yeah.
However, love exists.
Yeah.
But I can rise above that, holding space for love, but removing emotion. And that's what it does for me. So time and space away from somebody has removed emotion from the situation so that I can actually say, oh, okay, here's what really is.
Yeah.
Now that I know what really is, I can make choices. However, it's hard when a text comes through.
It is.
The energy is there and it's just going to take more days.
It is. And you know,
days.
I'll say that as your friend.
Yeah. Wait, we're friends now?
Yeah. As your friend.
Okay.
I've watched you through the last, I don't know how many days it's been that you've been on this.
24 days.
24 days. Wow. It's been 24 days.
Can you believe that?
Wow.
There was a big shift at 17.
Yeah. I was going to say
14.
There was a moment where I watched you drop into your body and like this like really secure, grounded energy took over you.
Because you know why? It was the free fall. I surrendered to God and I stopped trying to control his healing. Right. Because I, as a healer and a lover, I want everybody to be well.
Yes.
And I had to release and say, this is not on me. And I have to remind myself daily, it's super hard that his situation, and I wish I could have done this better with Dave. I did do this toward the end, but I wish I could have done this better with every man in my life, right? Like, it's not up to me. Like their situation is not the result of me, right? It's the result of years of, and this is their thing to fight. And what happens is when I step in, like I always do, I not always, I naturally do.
Yeah.
I become that crutch for them.
You're the brace.
I become the brace that does not allow them to heal themselves.
Oh, damn.
Right.
Yeah.
And so that it's super hard to step away. And so then, I mean, what runs through my mind is, I'm not even going to ask this as a question.
No.
I'm going to say it as a promise. There is a man, when the time is right, who has healed as much as I have.
Yeah.
And it could be one of the men that I've already had in my life.
Yeah.
Who comes back more healed. And I'm not saying I'm the most healed. Guys, I got so much healing to do still. We all do. However, I'm aware of where I'm at.
Yeah.
And I shall wait. For my match.
Yeah. You will. Who will be the match in all the ways to hold the bridge and to create the safety.
There we are.
You know?
With integrity. In their bricks. And truth.
Yeah.
Listen, what I want in a man. Can I say what I want?
Let's go.
I've done so much journaling about this in the past 24 days.
Let's go.
My number one thing is authenticity.
Yeah.
I don't know if number one. One of my number one things, authenticity. I need a man who is so, not need. I don't need anything. I choose a man. I desire a man who is so confident in who he is and what he does. If the world walked in on anything, he would be like, this is me. Because, Keira, that's me.
Yeah, I know.
Like, that's me.
You
And
need
I
a
might
match.
be embarrassed, right? There might be some embarrassment, but I'm going to laugh it off.
Yeah.
And I want someone who doesn't feel like they have to confine to anyone's standard. I want a man who's like, I am the standard. And you are my queen.
That's delicious. I am the standard.
Yes.
Oh,
But
where are you at?
exists.
Bring that one in.
Yeah. I know he's there.
I know.
Like,
I can feel this.
I am the standard. And also, like, I deserve, because I give.
Yeah.
I deserve consistent, predictable love. I actually screenshotted something. I'm going to read it right now.
It just feels like safety
Why
is...
are we talking about love again?
I don't know. How we get here again. How we get here. It's like safety's the energy that keeps coming around like a blanket.
Yeah.
Like, may this be a place of deep-rooted safety.
You just said the beginning of this May.
Stop.
Listen to this.
Okay.
Everybody, listen to this. Okay. So
I'm
this
ready.
is a quote I stumbled across today. Instagram is listening to me. Okay.
Or your angels are, and they're just dropping things in for you.
All right. So this quote is, may the next person you love know how to love you back. You deserve a love that understands your love language, a love that always feels like summer, a love that goes to war with you, not against you, a love that's sure of you and that you are sure of. You are worth it. How beautiful.
So beautiful.
Beautiful is that?
That's so beautiful.
And here's another one.
Okay.
This is yesterday's. Fudge. Sick holes. Mother fudger.
It's going to work. There's got to be a different plan.
Okay, now we're out of battery.
No.
Let's
This
keep
is what-
going.
yeah,
Hold
we're
on.
gonna need-
Okay,
okay.
We're gonna have to wrap
We're
this
going
thing
to...
up. Okay.
I think we're on hour 9.
Yes, the battery is red. The last quote
Okay,
I read. So
read
I
it
just
in.
read one.
Mm-hmm.
This one is, I hope you experience a love that inspires dancing instead of walking on eggshells. I hope you are able to breathe deeply in their presence instead of holding your breath. I mean, is that how we end this?
That's a hell yes. I want to end with this one thing that's been coming in. I can't ignore when
I'm
things
going to
come
watch
to
the red
me.
dot. Keep
All right.
going.
So as we've talked about starting over, as we've talked about the fire that burns the whole damn forest down to create more soil,
Yeah.
the message that comes to me is like, this is what God does. God is the highest alchemist. So God is the alchemist where you take all the broken and all the burned down trees and God shifts it into new matter. And that is this. Like everything that we've talked about, all the growth that you and I have had, all that has happened is because we continually give it over to the alchemist who then shifts it into new matter.
Free fall. Like
We
you have
free fall.
to free fall. It's that Pink song. It's trust fall. You have to trust
sent that
fall. You
song. Do you
did.
remember that?
I do.
Yes.
I love it. But you really
It's
do.
a
You
free
have to
fall.
trust. You have to surrender to the process because the more we try and hold on to what's not meant for us, the harder. It went out of battery.
Well,
Change the battery. Well, let's finish this.
okay, let's finish it.
I mean, should we get a camera?
Our editor's going to love us. Okay. This is so great.
So what we were saying, you guys, we literally just got an iPhone. Please go watch this on YouTube.
This is going to be your best video of all time.
Let's get the hat over the side.
Okay. You
So
had some
what I
wisdom
was
popping
saying
through.
is I was saying it requires a trust fall. It requires surrender. Right?
Which is what we're doing right now.
We are literally,
trust falling this podcast.
we are.
Wow.
And because the thing, like the longer we hold on to what's not meant for us, like the longer, and it's that death grip. Like we literally hold on to the pain. We hold on to the suffering because there's familiarity in that suffering.
It's
like think
because-
of how many things, right? But I actually heard a really great quote at one point, and I want to end with this. I mean, we can end with whatever.
We're on the fourth end. We're going to end with this. Wait, we're going to end with this one.
So the pain of change.
Uh-huh. The giggles are here. Hold on. Let me breathe to my feet for a second.
Do you want me to breathe on your feet? Give me your feet. Let me breathe on them.
I said I need to breathe down to my feet. I gotta breathe into my feet. That's how I get grounded. Okay, now drop the wisdom.
All right. So the pain of change the perceived pain of change cannot exceed the pain of remaining the same. Right? So the perceived pain of change cannot exceed the pain of remaining the same, or change will never occur.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And so I think we have to, that pain of change is so scary. It's the perceived pain of change is so scary. It does make it hard for us to take that leap. But this is where it's like you got Maddox. All right. Good Lord.
So
Good
great.
Lord. Are we still going? We're going to start this over. Buddy, we're filming a podcast.
Oh no. Let's snort. That'll
Okay,
get
let me
ya.
just end this by saying
that's such a beautiful thing right there.
it is.
And it's the fear of the unknown.
It is, because that, like, the idea of change, it's the lack of familiar, it's the uncertainty that comes with the change, or with the idea of change, is enough to keep us in that suffering that we're familiar with, right? Which limits our life. Like, we have one life. How do we want to live it? I mean, there's pain in what is. And if I want to invite you guys, if there is pain in what is, really spend some time with a vision of what could be.
Yeah.
What could be on the other side of burning something down. And I'll go back to what we talked about at the beginning. It doesn't have to, I'm not talking about a marriage or a relationship. We had a lot of relational talk today, but it could be, a new body goal even, right? It could be letting go of the way that you see somebody, or you see your kid. It could be shifting your dynamic in your relationship. It could be leaving
Finances.
a position. Yes.
Following your dreams.
Yes.
Like
what calls to your heart.
Yeah.
And here's one thing I'll tell you. I'll tell you guys. And I know you'll agree with me, Keira. The journey of chaos and the journey of that unfamiliar road, right? The yellow brick road, or whatever we want to call it, is so much fun. That's where experience is. It's the road to Hana.
It is.
But this is why it's so important that you choose people. You surround yourself with people who make it about the journey, who make the journey fun, instead of people who suffocate your energy.
And people who will let you expand your current shape so that you can become that all inclusive magic that you are here to be.
Yes.
Bring the people who say, I see you.
Yeah.
And I'm releasing all the shape. Just shine.
I love that. People who let you be that.
Yeah. That's it right there.
All right, guys. This was really great. We are going to have to do some editing magic in this to make sure that this flows for you, because there was some technical difficulty.
My favorite episode by far.
It was so much fun. I hope everyone listening, watching, enjoyed it too. I hope there's something, even just one thing, that you can take from today. I mean, there were so many gold nuggets for me.
Yeah, for sure.
But if there's just one thing you can take from today and implement in your life, or I don't even want to say implement, use to activate you.
Use in your soil.
Yeah.
Let's put this in your soil.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And email us and let us know what impacted you. What do you want to hear more of?
Yeah.
What change did you make? Right? How did this call or speak to your highest self?
Yeah. What did it activate in you that created new growth?
Ooh.
Let's find that.
I love it.
All right.
I love you guys. I hope you feel seen. I hope you feel heard. I hope you feel filled. Feel filled. We got to wrap this up. We're done. Love you. Bye.
Bye.
Thanks for joining me on Heidi's Lane as we navigate this amazing and often humbling highway of life together. As always, it's been such a joy to have you here with me, and I hope that through our conversation today, you found at least one gold nugget or one thing that resonates with you that you can use in your life to help you live a life you love, because each day truly is a gift. I appreciate you being here. I see you, I hear you, I love you. Until next time, I am Heidi.